One of the first things that you need to do before you even start to move stuff into your house is actually measure it. Come on in and welcome to my home. If this is your first time here, remember to subscribe. Hit that button right there. Every Wednesday it's tips for you in your house, and today we are on part 3 of our moving series. Yes, we are getting ready to talk about really getting into the nitty-gritty of moving. We've already purged our stuff, we've packed our stuff, we've got everything all ready. Now we're going to actually talk about the house that you're going to be moving into. One of the first things that you need to do before you even start to move stuff into your house is actually measure it. That's right. You want to measure your house so that you have all of the sizes of the rooms, the placements of windows and doors, so that way, well, I'll tell you more about that next week, but you want to get as accurate and detailed of information as you possibly can. Why is that information so important? Well, it comes up quite a bit. When you think about it, you're going to be thinking about rooms that you've not lived in before. You're not even sure what to do with these rooms. You're not sure what sizes they are. You can go into a heavily detailed outline of it, so where you draw each room and you include where the window placement is, where plugs are, TV outlets are, those sort of things, or you could go with something more vague and general. The other thing which you might want to consider is also making sure that you know how tall your windows are, or various items that are in the room that you cannot control. Why is that so important? Well, for simple things. Let's say you want to go and buy curtains. How big are your curtains? Oh, you don't know, do you? Exactly. That's the big thing when it comes to being able to purchase things for your house, or making sure that you have the right things for your house that you need. That's why I always like to I generally only do a top plan, which is looking down into the house, so that way I can see how big each thing is, and then if I really need to, I can do a plan where I have the actual measurements on the plan. Most of the time I do not do that, but sometimes I do have the actual measurements on the plan, simply because I know how my mind works, and my mind says I know what the measurements are. Other people, they're going to want to have those measurements there in front of them. Also, you might consider doing the pictures or little drawings for each wall, which shows you how wide the windows are, how high up the windows are, so that way you know if certain pieces of furniture will fit underneath them or not. It works. Whatever works for you, as long as you have a firm idea of what it is and it's in some sort of scale that you can work with. This is really important. You're going to need to keep the entire outline of the house. As you can see, I've probably shown it several times now. This is the outline of Anne's house, and Anne's house is very easy to deal with, and we will go through the different layers of it and the different levels, but you can see it's a 3-bedroom house with a living room, kitchen, and a lower level. These levels are really easy to deal with now that we have some sort of idea of where things are, and from there we can go into exactly where things should be, but that's a whole nother episode. Today I want you to go through and measure the space that you're going to be moving into. Now, for those of you who are not moving into a new space, you're staying in your own space, you're just going to reorganize it, go ahead and do the same thing. That way you have the measurements that you need so that you can decide if you want to move around your furniture or rearrange things, or if special things come up that you aren't sure what you want to do with. You got the measurements. It's all right there. You can exactly decide what should go where, because that's the very next step. And I'll talk more about this later on. Now, for those of you who are wondering what on earth I'm recording this, what on earth I've done all this on, I am an AutoCAD person. Yes, I have learned how to use AutoCAD. I love AutoCAD, but you do not need to have AutoCAD. You can just as easily do this on graph paper, plain paper, just as long as you get some nice measurements. And you want to make sure that your measurements are as accurate as you can get them. Don't guess, don't do rough estimates. Make sure that you are getting as accurate of measurements as you possibly can, and it will make every step along the way that you need to do much easier. If you have questions about this, let me know down in the comments. This is our 3rd part. The 4th part is going to be really a lot more fun, and I hope I get to see you again next time.